Your enemies have been set up.
We
Do you
are
realize the full
live.
magnitude of what's unfolding before you? Can you feel the shift as those who plotted against you are now in...
Okay, streaming live on YouTube.
Your enemies have been set up.
We
Do you
are
realize the
live.
full magnitude of what's
The
unfolding before you?
problem is that I have too many things open. Here we go. There we go. And let's record on this computer. And hello, hello. I am going to stream my share with you about properties in Atlanta. All right, let's get some energy going, Kristel. So Jewel is a realtor that I work with, and she has multiple, she has about 4 listings right now that are live and on the market. We're going to start with the higher price points, the 1.2 property. And this is a townhouse, and I'm going to show some pictures so you can see the properties, but also explain some distinctions on things that you need to know. So being a townhouse, it's different than an actual condominium. Although there is a HOA, in this case, the HOA, if I recall, was in the 300s a month. So it is similar to maybe a condo as far as the dollar amount, but depends on what the amenities are. Beautiful property, shows very well. Again, it's a 1.2 million home. Now, that price point also tells us that we may have to look into what's called a jumbo financing. Looks like it's very private. So jumbo financing means the loan amount is over, the financing is over the conforming loan amount, which basically, and I'm hoping as I'm clicking over, that you can see the next screen. So 766,500 is the current 2024 conforming loan amount, and it's now going to be in 2025 to 802,650 in most states, as you can see here. So this property here will require a significant down payment to be able to do conforming. But we have a couple of options. We can do a first mortgage with the 802,650 and finance a second up to 90%, so 10% down, and finance a second mortgage. Okay, so it'd be a first and a second mortgage. The reason why I share that is some clients may have maybe a property to sell, and they know they want to keep just the first mortgage. We're gonna explore that area. So and this is in Alpharetta, Georgia. So it's a little bit, it's outside the metro area if you're not familiar with Atlanta. So this property at 1.2, again, the financing will be most likely a jumbo, which is a higher credit score is required. A higher credit score is required. Usually you need to have at least 10% down. Then you're going to need some reserves. So that's distinct from a conforming loan. And that's why I was mentioning some clients may actually want to go with a conforming loan versus jumbo for qualification reason, but we'll have to do a combo loan, a first and a second mortgage. The good news of showing that the loan amount is going to be increasing in 2025, about $36,000 more, is that means the second mortgage is going to be less. Okay, so this was a property in Alpharetta. Now go back into the heart of Atlanta, right? Atlantic Station, 749,900. This is an actual condo. So the other one I was telling you in Concord, Alpharetta, is a townhouse. The townhouse, that one doesn't really have any pictures except for this one. She's still probably working on the listing. Again, I'm a lender. Jewel is a realtor that I partner up, and we work together in offering those homes with the financing, specialty financing. So a condominium has to be approved for condo financing because now we have to review the budget of this property. We have to make sure they have the right reserve, that they have the number of investors. The great news about this condo is that it already has a tenant living there. So therefore, you don't have to get on the list to be approved to rent this property. So you can occupy or tenant. But the details of the property, of course, you reach out to Jewel about them. But this is to share with you the distinction based on the price point of homes, the type of financing. Of 749,900, you can do a financing up to 3% down. So that's 97% financing versus 1.2 million, that's going to be jumbo, minimum 10% in general, or a first and a second still about 10% down. Okay. Now, if we start going to, okay, Decatur, this is a new construction or renovated home that is huge, 5-bedroom. Okay, so again, very minimum amount of pictures to show you, but again, this is a property that you can go ahead and finance conforming. It does fall into our discounted mortgage rates, but I did compare because of the Fed's movement, it did not really create a difference. So it's still something that to think about. And then as far as discounted mortgage rate, and then the 499,900, a 5-bedroom. This one is in Atlanta as well. Well, Decatur, Atlanta, Alpharetta property. So conforming, jumbo, townhome, condominiums have different type of financing. This is a single family residence, so it doesn't have the restrictions of condominiums. So your takeaways today, as I go through those images of this particular home. Jumbo is stricter. You have to be a stronger buyer as far as credit score, your down payment, and your debt to income ratio as well, and your reserve. You need reserve usually for jumbo. But conforming, which is this property that I was sharing with you, 749,900, the 549, this one here, which is 499, they all fall below the current 766,500 financing amount. Okay. And it will go up to 802,650. All right. So your takeaways, put comments, any questions you have about, well, why, not why, because guidelines are guidelines, but the difference between a conventional and a jumbo, credit score, the requirements are stricter on a jumbo versus a conventional. The down payment also, conventional, you can do 3% down if you're a first-time home buyer, and some other stipulations that we can go over. And then the other aspect that I share with you with those properties, single family, condo, and townhomes. So a condo is going to be very different from a single family and a townhouse, because a condo requires a condo questionnaire. It has to be what we call warrantable condo, meaning it's going through the questionnaire and we're making sure of how many investors are there, how many months of reserve do they have, usually about 10% of a budget. All those are very detailed. So work with an expert to make sure when you're looking at properties that you have the distinction and you understand them, so you know what to be ready for when you're getting pre-approved. I would love to work with you. For any questions on these properties, reach out to Jewel. I'm putting the list report information on those properties so you can actually go back and view them as she updates the pictures as well. If you have any questions, comments, we'll love to get, even if it's an emoji of a house saying you saw this video.